Hey kids, this is Miss Sweeney, and I'm going to show you how to take the old mask that has a dry, what they consider dead plaster, from the day before, and I'm going to add on some fresh plaster, and plaster bandaging, and I'm going to make sure it really bonds to it, and needs a little bit of help with a special item here, and also show you a little bit of sculpting. Now, there wasn't a lot that I did to this the other day. I didn't quite get it as far as I normally would in one sitting. The goal is to get up to 3 layers, give or take, so you get like a strong base, because you want to be able to eventually pop off your mask of bandaging off of the form. This is a plastic form that is just there for support and for guidance right now. You can see my China marker lines to show me what my plan was and where to stop. So yes, you could have covered the whole thing and then go, oh, I'm going to cut this out. But cutting through fibers and bandagings, especially when you get like several layers, when it's really strong like a cast, then that's hard to do. So it's smarter to plan it out. Now, coming back the second day, I could add plaster bandaging, but you would find out that it will keep kind of pulling off. So I have just some Elmer's white glue, and any kind of adhesive like that would be fine. I'm going to be kind of prepping the old dead plaster that doesn't really want to add on to anything. I'm going to just drizzle some glue on it. So if I was just going to work like right here, I would drizzle glue a little bigger than that area and then just continue with my fresh plaster. But if I think I'm going to be working kind of all over, I'm going to put it on, and I don't know if you can see this, but I am just kind of loosely drizzling glue on all the old plaster. Now, I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to work. I'm going to kind of work all over since I didn't get a lot done the other day. Now, notice I'm not putting it, though, on the actual, like, original plastic form. I don't want the bandaging to really stick to that. I want it to pop away more, so why would I put glue on that, right? But I do want it to stick on the old plaster bandaging. So I'm just going to kind of get a little bit of this spread around, trying to keep it off of the white plastic mask form and just keep it on my actual old dry plaster from the day before. Of course, it could have been a week before, it doesn't matter. All right, and then basically now I can continue on. This is a pretty big piece. I think I'm going, oh, I know what, I'll save that for sculpting. I'll get like some pieces that I cut a little bit more bandagey size here. And remember the technique, warm water will make it set up faster. You have usually like 10 minutes or so before it really starts to kind of stiffen. But I'm going to hold it by the corners, go in and out to activate the plaster that's embedded in the bandaging. And then just keep on going. Now I did want to kind of work this area, and I'm going to fold this end under to give it a nice kind of edge there. If it hits that eye and I don't want it on the eye, don't try to cut it with scissors. Just fold it back or fold it under, and it actually just makes it stronger. This is a lot like collaging, where you overlap the edges and just kind of keep on going. You want to make some connections there, and you do want to, rub it down. And if you do circular motions, especially in the second or third layer, it will actually kind of fill it in smoother if that was important to you. And I'm not going to like go super far with this, but I am going to get some fresh plaster right there over that gooey kind of prepped glued area. It'll bond nicely with that. Let me get another one there. Oops, I got 2 at a time, but that's okay. Didn't mean to grab 2. If you were doing like huge sculptures, you can actually take a whole roll, submerge it into the water, and then work the whole activated roll around, chicken wire and all kinds of crazy things. But we're going pretty small scale, so we're just cutting pre-cut bandaged pieces. Works great for us. All right, I just want to kind of get an area that was more thicker. Like this is probably 2, maybe 3 in layers in some places. And again, I could make it smoother, but I want to move on. Now, this is fresh plaster here, so I could go ahead and do some sculpting. If I want to really make sure that it's going to stick, yes, I could add a little bit right there. But okay, I'm taking a big piece. I'm going to activate it, get it in and out of there. Sometimes people blot it onto newspaper or something so it's not too drippy. Now, I can take this and I can just kind of almost like model with it. So I know it looks really messy, but almost like clay. I mean, especially if it gets really soft, and kind of push it on there. Kind of squeeze some of that air out. Now, I could work a couple more minutes. I could like smooth it. I could, pinch it. I could form it, and it will work a lot like modeling clay or regular clay. And I could build up sculpted areas like this in a more 3D fashion. Now, I could do it a little bit rough like that, and then another way is to then go over it with smoother pieces. Like I could take some smaller bandage pieces. Let me get them both wet at the same time, save me a little bit of time. And I could kind of clean it up just by resurfacing it over the sculpted area. In other words, I was just building up mass. 3D form. Okay? All right, now when that dries, that is going to be super strong and really on there. Didn't have to put glue in between those two fresh pieces. Oh yeah, I want to show you this. This is a student's mask. Let's kind of put it on there. Using the same form, and you can see how it actually was made on it. And right here, this brow bone and the under eye area coming off the ridges, that was sculpted in the same manner with pure just plaster bandaging. Now this, I want to show you today because to get this kind of look, you have to have a dry, fairly strong structure underneath. And then, notice the back, that's actually cardboard, okay? Cardboard and other types of materials, even plastic shapes. If this was dry and strong, I could take hot glue and I could hot glue onto a dry surface and I could stick actual 3D shapes onto it. Like, what do we use? Sometimes we'd use cardboard and bend it around or cut it into shapes like this and then simply hot glue, boom, get it on there. And then you can continue with surfacing right onto it. So it looks like it just grows right out of it. So a lot of these extra shapes and three-dimensional types of style was added on in different methods, not just with the plaster bandaging. Now, I have a drip of water on there, I noticed. That would be a dead spot tomorrow that wouldn't be stick and wouldn't be strong. So I'm going to go ahead and wet that while it's still usable. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of work right up to this edge. Might as well make use of it. Press it. Okay. And, oh, this tool, we have a lot of these tools. Good for using with clay, but also works great for just working with the plaster. Just kind of shaping it. Whatever works. Or putting like really deep creases into it. Like, see that little sharp crease in there? I would not have been able to really do that with my fingers. So you can make some definition however you want to. So like I say, you can kind of model with it and sculpt with it. And I will stop right there.